Hi, I'm Jocelyn. Welcome to or back to my channel. Today's video is my October book wrap-up, so I'll be talking about all of the books that I have read in October. First up is Aurora Rising by Amie Kaufman and Kristoff. This book is kind of a fantasy sci-fi, more so sci-fi than fantasy novel, and it is the first book in a series that so far has 2 books out. The second book is called Aurora Burning, and I have not read that yet, but it is definitely on my list. I really enjoyed this book. This book takes place in the future where humans live alongside different aliens in space. So we follow a squad of 6 people. Like on the back you have the Alpha, the Diplomat, the Scientist, the Gearhead, the Warrior, the Pilot, and the Mystery Girl. So brief synopsis without spoiling anything is that the Alpha, he's one of our main characters, he finds this girl who's been frozen in time for over 100 years, and so we follow the events that unfold following after he finds her, and she wakes up, and you know, all of the crazy things that happen afterwards. They're being chased down, being hunted, and having to escape capture. This was a really fun book. We have 6 points of view, all of which were actually thoroughly enjoyable. And you get to see everyone's different, perspectives, learning a little bit more about their personalities. So I definitely recommend Aurora Rising. The next book I read is actually a graphic novel, and it is Teen Titans Raven, and it was written by Garcia, and all of the artwork was done by Gabriel Picolo. So I am actually a huge superhero nerd, and I could not tell you if I prefer Marvel or DC because I love the Marvel movies, but am obsessed with the DC shows. So when I saw this book and I heard that she's going to be doing a series and doing a book for each of them, and actually Beast Boy has already come out, I was very excited, and I have been trying for a really long time to get my hands on it, and I finally did, and I was pleasantly surprised. So we follow Raven as it's basically her origin story. So her discovering her powers and learning what they mean, how to use them, and it's a great little teen coming of age novel, but with a twist because she's a superhero. So if you are a fan of superhero stories, origin stories, I definitely recommend this graphic novel. So this month I actually read 3 poetry books, and this is really new for me because before this month I had never read a poetry book, and I did not know what to expect, but all of the ones that I read I love and hold near and dear to my heart, and they have taught me so much, and I've learned so much from them. I've already read a few of them multiple times, and specifically certain pages and certain quotes and stuff that I've written down. I really think that poetry books they really have a lot to offer. And so the first poetry book that I read this month was Milk and Honey. I had heard a lot of good things about this book. I honestly thought it was just because it's aesthetically pleasing, but after reading it, I have learned that it is not just that. It is just amazingly written. It is poetry, it's poetic, but it's not like your typical poetry that you typically have to read for school. It's really just telling a story just in simple phrases. What I really love about these books is that they all have like these drawings throughout them, just to kind of give some extra insight onto what each phrase means. And some of them are longer and some of them are really short, just a sentence. So Milk and Honey is really telling the story of someone going through the process of falling in and then out of love. So all of the emotions and feelings that come and go with that. And this was a really special book that I really think that anyone could read and definitely get something out of. The next poetry book that I read was The Mermaid's Voice Returns in this one by Amanda Lovelace. This is actually the 3rd book in the Women Are Some Kind of Magic series. The first 2 are The Princess Saves Herself in this one and The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one. But this one is the conclusion, and I'm kind of glad that I started with this one because I really enjoyed it. It is basically about taking back your voice and standing up for yourself, and how to do that when all of your oppressors are people that seem to be perfect and seem to be doing right things and good things, and they genuinely seem like they're trying to help you, but finally coming to grasp with the thought that not everyone is good for you and that some people are toxic for you. And so this book really just focuses on being able to understand that and learn from your experiences, and just take everything with a grain of salt, and take the things that you have learned from these people and use it to better yourself. And then the last poetry book I read is also by Amanda Lovelace, but it's in her second series, and this is the first one in the You Are Your Own Fairy Tale series, and it is Break Your Glass Slipper. This one is probably my favorite of the 3 poetry books that I read this month. This one, I think it just spoke the most to me. It could be my age, my lack of experience, or whatever. The other 2 are more so after you've gone through something, this is how you get out of it. And this one is like, don't even put yourself in that position. And so this one is talking about, you know, just not allowing the bad people to get you down and just getting out of the mindset that you need someone to come save you from your troubles. What I love about Amanda Lovelace is that all of her books are very fairy tale based, and as you guys know, I am obsessed with fairy tales. And so I loved all of the different references, and with this one especially for the first section, there's always a there's one section where there's a poem, whatever it's talking about, and then another one where it's like the fairy godmother says, and that part is basically a godmother mentoring you. And it was really smart book, smartly written, smartly done, and it was just really well done, and I really enjoyed it. And this is definitely one that I will continue to go back to. So I highly recommend all 3 of these, but especially Break Your Glass Slippers. Finally, but definitely not the least, the last book that I read this month was All American Boys by Jason Reynolds and Brendan Kiely. I would definitely put this book in the same category with The Hate You Give and Dear Martin, because they all follow a similar narrative. We have 2 main characters and we get both of their perspectives. The first one is Rashad. He is a black teenager living in America, and he is assaulted by a white police officer. And the second perspective is from Quinn, and he is the almost child to this man, because this man raised him when his father died, and so he looks up to him, but he witnesses the encounter between Rashad and the police officer. So we follow Rashad as he is in the hospital for over a week, struggling to come to grips with what has been done to him and the protests and the actions being taken in his defense. And then Quinn, on the other hand, he understands that it was wrong, and he wants to speak up about it, because he believes that if he doesn't speak up about it and he continues to be silent, nothing is ever going to change, because he understands that everyone plays a part. However, this is also really hard for him because of how close he is to this man. Paul is his name, Paul Galezzo, and we follow both of them trying to come to grasp with it and trying to work their minds around it and understanding other people's perspectives and what they're saying and taking all the information being told to them. Quinn especially, because he is a white male, he almost doesn't think that he can say anything, because he says this doesn't affect me. But what I really love is that one of the characters tells them that it's because it doesn't affect you that you need to say something about it. I highly recommend All American Boys. I hope you enjoyed my October book wrap-up video. I once again recommend that you go read all of these books and then come back to the comments and tell me how you liked them, and if you have read them already, let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe so you can see more content from me in the future. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!